She was kind enough to
Hello,
prepare this.
my name is Malvine Eydelman, and I work for the FDA Center for Devices and Radiological Health, or CDRH. At CDRH, patients are at the heart of all we do. We believe that patient input is valuable throughout the total product life cycle of a medical device, from discovery and ideation to clinical testing and on to post-market monitoring. Patient experience data includes clinical outcome assessments, of which there are 4 types. They all provide subjective information about how a patient feels, functions, or survives. It is important to note that they differ by the reporter. They are performance outcome measures, clinician-reported outcome measures, observer-reported outcome measures, and patient-reported outcome measures, or PRO. Roadmap for selection and development of the appropriate clinical outcome assessments is the same for all 4. The underlying core principle governing all clinical outcome assessments is structured data collection. PROs are any report of the status of a patient's health condition that comes directly from the patient without interpretation of the patient's response by a clinician or anyone else. It is imperative to follow a structured approach in developing and administering PRO measures. To better communicate FDA's thinking on this subject, a guidance was issued in 2009. This guidance applies to all the medical product centers. It provides recommendations about the evidence used to support a PRO instrument-based labeling claims. To further the agency's efforts to include patient experience data, FDA committed to drafting new guidance documents that clearly spell out the regulatory perspectives on the development and use of clinical outcome assessments. Patient-focused drug development guidance was issued in June of this year. In January of this year, CDRH published the final guidance, Principles for Selecting, Developing, Modifying, and Adapting Patient-Reported Outcome Instruments for Use in Medical Device Evaluation. The guidance applies to PRO instruments used across the total product life cycle and is meant to supplement existing guidances and clarify where there are areas of flexibility for medical devices. There are a few best practices described in this guidance document that could be implemented to make the process of selecting, using, modifying, or adopting a PRO instrument for specific use within a clinical study more efficient. Collaboration allows for the pooling of resources, not only financially, but also in terms of access to expertise and key stakeholders. Over the years, I have been privileged to participate in a number of collaborative efforts with all stakeholders in the medical device ecosystem. These collaborations led to completion of PRO measures for refractive surgery, IOLs, and glaucoma. Currently, we're in the early development stages of PROM for patients with profound visual loss. About 15 years ago, CDRH received complaints from patients regarding symptoms such as dry eyes, glare, halos, starbursts, and double vision, significantly affecting patients' quality of life following LASIK. To better understand the potential risk of severe problems that can result from LASIK, we partnered with NEI and DOD to launch LASIK Quality of Life Collaboration Project. This study produced a questionnaire, Patient-Reported Outcomes with LASIK, or PROWL. The questionnaire evaluates visual symptoms and satisfaction with vision following surgery. It incorporates images and definitions to facilitate reporting of complex visual symptoms. PROWL is an electronic, self-administered, publicly available questionnaire. Currently, it is also available via AAO's IRIS patient portal, making it easily accessible for incorporation into clinical practice in addition to evaluation of medical devices. Last year, AAO submitted PROWL SS for qualifications as a medical device development tool, or MDDT. Qualification is FDA's conclusion that within the context of use, MDDT has a specific interpretation and application in a regulatory review. Qualified tools minimize uncertainty in regulatory review for industry, reduce resource expenditure, and foster innovation. PROWL SS includes 32 items from the full PROWL questionnaire and assesses 4 key visual symptoms and patient satisfaction with vision. PROWL SS is the first ophthalmic MDDT qualified by FDA. PROWL SS is specific for LASIK population. However, tools developed in one setting can be modified or adapted for use in other contexts of use through bridging studies. PROWL is currently being used for other refractive surgeries in this manner. Recently, we have completed development of PRO for premium IOLs. The need for this questionnaire was first identified during the 2014 FDA AO workshop on developing novel endpoints for premium IOLs. Subsequent to the workshop, a task force was formed that generated a number of consensus statements. Additionally, advisory committee was established for development of PRO. This was a unique collaborative effort between FDA, AAO, and industry. Assessment of intraocular lens implant symptoms instrument was developed as a result of this unique collaboration. The instrument assesses frequency and level of symptoms bother for 15 symptoms. Like PROWL, this instrument incorporates images and definitions to facilitate reporting of complex visual symptoms. Once published, this tool will be added to IRIS patient portal and become available for use by surgeons in clinical practice. In glaucoma space, I have been privileged to lead Bicoastal Centers of Excellence in Regulatory Science and Innovation Collaboration. We partnered with Johns Hopkins to determine the patient preferences in glaucoma treatment. At UCSF Stanford CIRSE, our goal was to develop a patient-reported outcome measure to assess health-related quality of life in mild to moderate glaucoma patients. Development of this PRO had many phases and took a number of years. I am delighted to announce that we just completed this journey and are currently analyzing the data. Once published, this PRO will join Prowl and Premium IOL PROs in the IRIS patient portal. With the completion of instruments for refractive IOL and glaucoma spaces, we're turning our attention to patients with profound vision loss. Just a couple of months ago, we obtained funding and started initial qualitative development towards a PRO for this patient population. During our workshop on expediting innovation of bioelectronic implants for vision restoration on October 24th and 25th, we will hear directly from these patients about what matters to them. We will discuss further the most impactful ways to incorporate their voices in device innovation in this space. While we have made tremendous progress in development and implementation of patient-reported outcomes in ophthalmology, there is still a lot of work to be done. I applaud Mary Tyler Moore's Vision Initiative for hosting today's workshop and for exploring best ways to incorporate the patient voice in clinical endpoints for diabetic retinopathy. Continuous collaborative efforts will move us towards patient-centric healthcare. Thank you for your attention.